right, what's going on, everybody? So, for the past week or so, I've been hearing a lot of YouTubers and reading a lot of comments about this whole situation between Sony and Microsoft and the whole cross-play thing, and this big situation with Fortnite. And I kind of wanted to give you guys my thoughts on the whole situation. Now, before I kind of get into the main conflict itself, I guess I kind of just want to make a disclaimer. I kind of want to just tell you where I'm kind of coming from because I'm not a primary, like, I'm not one of those guys that really plays multiplayer games. I don't really play them a lot. I like playing most of my games single player. I don't play Fortnite. I don't play PUBG. I have family and friends that play PUBG and Fortnite and everything, and they enjoy that game. And I get it. You know, I get some of the frustration. Fortnite is one of the biggest multiplayer games out there now, and so is PUBG. But just the way that a lot of these fanboys are acting, both on, I guess, like the Microsoft side and on the Sony side, it's kind of annoying to me in a sense, and I'll kind of get into why. So main situation here is that Sony doesn't want to open up their platform to anyone outside of PlayStation 4 fan base. Basically, they don't want to open their platform up to Xbox gamers or Switch gamers. No one else besides PC. So far, when it comes to crossplay, with the PlayStation 4, you can only crossplay with PC. As far as I know, you can only crossplay with PC. And if I say anything wrong in this video, feel free to correct me because, again, I don't really play these multiplayer games like that. I definitely don't do the whole crossplay thing, so I might be a little ignorant when it comes to some of the details, but, like I said, let me know if I'm saying something inaccurate. But anyway, PlayStation 4 can only do crossplay with PC, but Microsoft, the Xbox One, and even the Switch can do crossplay, and then also the Xbox One and also the PC, they can do crossplay. And there's some people that are making a big deal regarding this whole crossplay situation because if you remember last generation, Sony basically wanted to do crossplay with Microsoft. And last generation, Microsoft was basically in the lead in terms of, sales and stuff. So when Microsoft was on top, they didn't want to cooperate with Sony, and people feel like, okay, well, Sony is basically being hypocrites because now Sony's on top, and now they don't want to cooperate. But here's the thing, and a lot of people are saying that the fact that Sony is not allowing the crossplay, they're saying that Sony is being very anti-consumer, that not having crossplay is anti-consumer. But I feel like that's kind of a dumb. I feel like that's a dumb argument to say that it's um a to say that this practice is anti-consumer simply because because here's the thing, people are always so it seems like people are acting like we've always had crossplay. This wasn't always a feature. This, as far as I know, and again, correct me if I'm wrong, but this crossplay thing, this just got big this generation, I believe. It just got big this generation. This isn't something that we've had in the past, like backwards compatibility and stuff like that. Like we've had backwards compatibility and other features that you would expect from a console. But crossplay isn't something that it's not something that we should really expect. It's something like if we get crossplay, it's a privilege. It's a privilege to have crossplay. You're not entitled to have crossplay. Sony doesn't have to Sony doesn't have to open up their platform, and neither does Microsoft or Nintendo. But Microsoft and Nintendo are they're okay with it. And why is that? Well, think of it this way. Microsoft and Nintendo, they're kind of at a different they're kind of at a different spot. They're like second and third place, so maybe they kind of just want to cooperate with each other because they know, because like with Nintendo is kind of different because like Nintendo claims that they don't want to compete. Like Nintendo's over there playing in the sandbox where Sony and Microsoft, they're playing on the basketball court. Sony and Microsoft, they're really direct competitors, so I can see why Sony doesn't want to open up their platform. I mean, also from a financial standpoint, I mean, here's the thing: I don't care about the whole, who gets more money, because Sony nor Microsoft is giving me the money. If y'all giving me the money, then I would care. But um, from a financial standpoint, I can also see Sony's point. Because here's the thing: if they open up the PlayStation 4 and say, okay, you can play Fortnite or Destiny or whatever with your friends and stuff. Here's the thing: if they did that, they're potentially losing out on a console sale because traditionally, and this is how it's always been, is hey, my friend Jimmy, my friend Jimmy, he has uh, Destiny on the Xbox One, but I have a PlayStation 4. So I have to go out and buy an Xbox One if I want to play with my friend. And people hate that. People are starting to hate that now, but it's always been this way. It's always been this way. And it's not just with video games. I can't think of any examples on the top, like at the top of my head right now, but it's not just video games. Like this is something like not everything has to be an open platform and not everything is an open platform. So you can't really expect that. You can't really get mad at Sony for not wanting to open up their platform to other to the other consoles. And I mean, yeah, they open it up to PC, but they're not really competing with PC. I mean, PC is its own beast. So, and here's another thing. Now, I will say this because I don't want this to come off as me damage controlling for Sony, because I'd say the same thing if it was Microsoft or Nintendo. But here's the thing: because I think it was like either a year ago or maybe a few months back or whatever. Sony said that somebody from Sony was like their excuse was, "Oh, we don't want to open up our platform." Like it was nah. I think I know what it was. It was they said something like they didn't want to expose their gamers or their players to it was some type of stupid comment, but basically they were concerned for the safety and security of the players on the PlayStation 4 platform. That's basically what the person said. I can't remember the direct quote, so I apologize, but they basically said something like that, and I feel like that was just BS. I feel like that was a more of a Nintendo response, like, oh, we're afraid for the children and all the other people on the platform. But then you like open up the platform to PC also. So that was BS when they said that. I'll agree. I'll agree. When they basically said that comment, like I guess a year ago or a few months ago, when they said that crap, they gave that BS excuse as to why they don't want to do crossplay. That was BS. But at the end of the day, it's just I think it's more of a money thing. They be losing out on a sale. They be losing out on selling more PlayStation 4s. And then also I'm not sure if this is the case, but I assume, and correct me if I'm wrong, but like if you buy Destiny on PlayStation 4, does Sony get a cut of that? I mean, I'm not sure. It probably don't work that way, but either way, Sony would be losing out on money if they open up their platform. And again, Microsoft and Nintendo are okay with this because I mean they're second and third place here, so they're kind of in the same situation. And plus, they're again, Nintendo's not competing with anybody really, or at least they're not really direct competitors, like I said. So overall, I think this crossplay debacle, I don't think it's that big of a deal. As far as Fortnite, I can't really talk too much about that because I've never played it. Like I said, full disclosure, I don't play those games. I don't really play multiplayer games like that. So it's not really a big deal to me. So my opinion might kind of matter less to a lot of people watching this video because it's like you don't play multiplayer games, so you don't really understand where we're coming from. But like even back in the day, when your friend had a copy of a game and you wanted to play with them, but he was on another platform. Like back in even the Xbox 360 days, I mean, you couldn't play. You couldn't play. If you had a PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, one of y'all got to buy a new console. One of y'all's got to buy a new console. So it's always been that way. And in regards to the whole Fortnite situation, I guess, um, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I guess they're doing something where like if you log into Fortnite on your PlayStation 4, you have to like make another account because it's like all the stuff that you purchased doesn't transfer over to the Sony platform where I guess on like the Microsoft and like Switch and whatever other platform it does transfer. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's the whole controversy now is that if you log in on a Sony device, if you play Fortnite, uh, you basically have to make another account because your stuff, I guess your progress and all the stuff you purchase doesn't transfer. And again, I don't think this is a big deal because I mean, you shouldn't expect that. That's not something that you should expect, especially if Sony's not opening up their platform. But if Microsoft and Nintendo are opening up their platform, then yeah, you should expect that. You should expect cross save, all your progress travels with you. But if you're playing Fortnite on PlayStation 4 and Switch, you shouldn't expect any of that progress or any of the stuff that you bought in the game to transfer. Because again, Sony just wants that money, but Microsoft wants the money and Nintendo wants the money too. So that's just how I feel about the situation. Let me know what you guys think. I'm out of here. Peace.